So can everybody see me in the screen?
Yes.
See how that screen comes up? See how everything behind me is blue? Okay, so the blue on that just means that that is colder than my body temperature. So if we take me out of it, it kind of fluctuates the colors based on what's in the screen. Does everybody make sense of that? You probably have some orange and some reds in there now. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so what we're looking for with this guy is obviously those blue spots, because that means that it's something cold. Spirit world is usually bring us cold spots. I'm sure you've heard that term before. The cold spots, when they start moving intelligently, he's going to back up a little bit. When they start moving intelligently, the camera will actually pick up that it's something of structure. So it's going to put a white outline around it. Like if I handed this to somebody, you can actually see very thin white outlines around the trees, some of the cars coming by, the building, so forth and so on. So when we actually have something intelligent, it's going to show up with a white outline. So, I'm sorry, I didn't get names all the way across. So, you guys, this is my daughter, London. Obviously, I'm Nick. So, Scott, Kendall, Courtney, Jody, Cody, George, Lillian, Layla, Anna, Lori, and Chris. Okay, I'm not going to remember most of those. So that's just the way this goes. So Cody, I'm actually going to go with this with you, just because you seem very, very interested in how some of this technology works. Right. Now, there will be times you need to hold that horizontal all night long, and that red square on there needs to stay a square. Yep. So that means it's recording. I've already started it. It's already set. Awesome. I know, right? So at any rate, if you have any questions, your finger is over the camera right now. There you go.
You sure you want me to hold this?
We're going to get a video of his finger the whole
You sure you want me to hold this? I mean, my wife's a lot better at this.
I know. Sorry, I got all right.
So what am I supposed to be doing?
I don't know.
Heather, that's an asshole.
All right.
Oh,
so we have ghost hunting show fans. No? One? Wow, nothing? Nothing at all. Alright, so I gotta go in full explanation. That's okay. EMF meters. So an EMF is an electromagnetic field. So what this guy will do is it will measure 3 types of electromagnetic fields. First one is from the earth, that's green. That's what we're looking at right now. That's a natural EMF. The next one is going to be something from a man-made object. It'll send out a pulse. When I say man-made object, I mean wires, I mean cell phones, anything electronic will give this thing a full pulse. That's what we don't want. It's a rhythm. Okay, so we don't want that. What we do want is a little bit of erraticism. We want it to go crazy. We want it to where we can't explain that it's not in a rhythmic pattern, or that it's not giving us just a straight green. So I'm actually going to hand this off to you. So what I need you to do is anytime that thing goes like crazy and you can't make a pattern out of it, we're all going to be watching it to help you. But you're going to be the first one to tell us that a ghost might be nearby.
Is it breakable?
Hmm?
Is it breakable?
No.
Okay.
She's fine.
Okay.
You gave these things to like
She's
the
little.
worst people.
She's a little clumsy, and I'm not so good with a video camera. But I know the temperature everywhere we go. Yep.
Anna, you might be running a slight fever.
I think you're running a fever. 101. All the doctor's office have these. This is what I can't figure out. I see little white things everywhere right here.
George, when you did your thing, did they have all this?
No, they didn't have any equipment. Yours was like talking,
So yours is more like a history lesson.
yeah. Streets are really hot. They are 99, 100.
Okay.
Streets.
Sorry, this one had some buttons pushed on it. And I'm going to be shouting again, so I apologize.
The dog is blue.
The spirit box. So a spirit box is actually a radio sweeper. The radio sweeper allows us to communicate with those that have already passed on. So this one in particular is sweeping out an FM radio station at 250 milliseconds. I know that this is scientific jargon, you guys don't need to know, but it's set to a specific rate so that way we can actually hear things coming out of it. Now, we might actually catch a DJ, a song lyric, a commercial, or a disembodied voice that comes out of this. It's going to be sweeping so fast, none of those things should naturally come through. So I'm gonna actually turn it on so we can kind of get a gist of it. It's actually gonna go to the two of you because it's great to have two sets of ears on this one because it does not record. So again, it's moving too fast for us to really hear. So when something comes through, I need to know what that is.
I've actually seen one of those before.
What's that?
I've seen one of those before.
We use two different types just to verify everything that's happened. I'm so sorry about the rain, guys. I know we're getting kind of the drizzle.
That's good. Yeah.
So literally, this only has one button. It's on the back of the
What does
speaker.
Nothing right now.
Am I hot?
Oh, see,
Approximately how hot am I?
there
You
are
got Corona.
wires underneath us right now. Some of them
Just did you hear that? Yes, I sounded like this. Verify what it is.
Good luck. You don't have Corona. You're only 97.
it doesn't really matter.
So you're not hot, baby. Sorry.
We'll tell you
I
what.
think you're hot, baby.
Okay.
So only if it like goes all the way over here.
And that's crazy.
He's really hot.
Crazy.
I mean, he's like
Look into that.
no, he's like 1 of 3. He's got Corona, full-fledged.
We're gonna do it in the rain.
Andrea has the corona, and her first symptoms were like food. She thought she had food poisoning.
Andrew, who?
Andrea,
So
Terry's
we do
neighbor.
use another spirit box. This
Oh,
cool
she
thing
had that?
about this one is it actually records the entire session for us. So no matter if the volume is up or down, it's going to record it at an even level. That's one of the reasons why I purchased this one for this tour, so that way we had different verifications. You guys will have full access to this full recording. So I'm going to set this up, and Lori and Chris, this is going to go to the two of you for your ears.
Will it hear us talk?
No.
Does this hear me talk?
Yes.
Oh, God.
So
He's
this
been
has,
checking everybody's temperature.
just make sure the SD is on the screen at all times.
I'm sorry,
And
guys,
it's
in
recording.
advance.
And to turn it up, there's a little turnstile.
I've been
up
checking
here
temperature
next
on
to the
everything.
button. The button is the power. So if you flip it the opposite way, it's just going to shut it off, and we have to reset it. You'll have two different recordings.
Okay. So if you want it like loud or not?
Not necessarily. So you'll want it loud enough so for the two of you to hear it, and there'll be certain places like we're going to go near some horses.
No problem.
So I'll say just turn your
Good
spirit box up loud enough so you can both visually, audibly.
Yeah, you don't want to spook the horses.
This thing is heavy. I can
It
tell.
is?
I know everything weighs like a few
I wanted to make sure I had
down.
this
It's like
thing out
10
first.
pounds.
All right. All right. So I think she's going to be pushing that, so the two of you are going to kind of team up on your camera, so that way you guys can have two sets of eyes on that. So let's say you actually capture something on the thermal imaging camera. Thermal imaging camera, we should all recognize what one of these is by now, right?
Yeah.
So the red dot measures our temperature. It only measures what it touches. So let's say Cody is where I'm standing and he's holding it up and he says, Nick, there's a blue spot right on that wall and the rest of the wall is orange and red. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to verify that the wall is the same temperature all the way across. When it is, I now know that that blue spot is between Cody and the wall. So that's where this comes into play. The psychrometer actually measures ambient temperature. So the ambient temperature is going to help me find that blue spot. It's going to use the probe at the top to help me find that cold spot and debunk whether we have a legitimate cold spot or not from the spiritual world. So these two are actually going to go to you because they are lasers.
All right. Don't shine at my eyes.
All right.
That looks like a break off.
So this is
No, I mean,
so this is the neuralizer from Men in Black. None of you are gonna remember anything from tonight. This is actually. Dang it! I put the battery back in wrong.
Did you really?
Yes, because it fell out. I'm smart.
All right.
well, we're not getting neuralized now.
Y'all are going to remember everything now because she broke my neuralizer.
I didn't mean to.
She's trying to steal my jokes, guys. All right. It's actually a grid pen.
Good.
Right? So, grid pens are super cool for things that we cannot see with the naked eye. So what it's going to do, if you notice my hand, it's going to help us find those things in between the grid pen and the ground. So, this is a laser. So, parents, I'm actually going to need some help. Here's the folks that we have left to actually hold some gadgets, are the young ones. So, this one will also, in the event we actually have a full apparition, do I need to move this?
Maybe.
So more secure area.
We're all against the wall.
Somebody have their phone nearby to check the weather to see if it's going to get
going
wet.
to be bad.
We're like dry.
I looked at radar a while ago. It's going to rain.
Can we kind of see those green streaks that came through? You want me to demonstrate it again? I know the wind isn't blowing. All right, so at any rate, what this is going to help us do, you can probably see like the rain droplets coming through a little bit, and how it's kind of angling back as it kind of hit us hard. Can you hit play to see how bad it's going to get?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to actually move this way. There's a little bit of shelter.
Okay.
Don't get with that side of the lead. I love rain. At least it cools down a little bit. Hey, taxis.
Why don't they get this colder?
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, that's so cold.
Huh?
So cold.
It's gonna get bad. Like a lot of rain, a lot of storming.
When Layla's walking, it went crazy. Yeah, I know.
Is this waterproof, I guess?
Now we're set. Here, Anna, get right here.
All right.
It's going 3.
If there's a pattern, then there's nothing bad. But if it's going,
I guess this thing's waterproof,
Oh,
right?
it's going. Oh, it's going.
Yep. And this is a hot spot. This is actually our first practice spot.
What is this?
I just call it the Red Barn lot. It doesn't really have a history other than the Red Barn is the same Red Barn where the horses that delivered milk were held.
Yeah.
So it kind of dates it for us between like 1860 to 1920. So we get a lot of activity here, but nothing that really ties to history. I usually use this as kind of like a test area to where you can kind of play with their gadgets.
Yeah.
I'll keep explaining things. If it gets worse in the next 10 to 15 minutes, we'll kind of figure out what to do from there. But usually when it's green, like what you actually showed me, kind of just sprinkle past this one.
Blue on that side. Blue on that side.
Cash and check. Yeah, but there's nothing white. It's probably the rain.
What does all the blue mean? What does all the blue mean? Okay, so it's probably rain.
You want to be soaked all night. So, all right.
Yeah, let's get really blue and
The
red.
grid that I
Blue,
use, guys, actually, you can see it in this bright light, actually uses square. So in the event we actually capture something right in the center of it, I can put it in 3D software and
Of course, I'm sending a leaking spot.
on the apparition that we actually caught. So this is relatively new. I haven't caught anything with this yet. I've only had it about a month. This will be going to Gettysburg with me. I'm not going to be doing it at night. I don't know how great it's going to be. But again, these lasers do shoot pretty far. I'm going to try to keep it away from windows. You can see how far these lasers actually shoot. So I'm
So
actually
there's stuff in that barn?
That's the horses.
So there are horses in there?
yeah, I also have a
Smell like horses. I own horses.
is that a bad idea?
No, that's a great choice.
Okay.
She's the most responsible in all of them.
Perfect. So that one has a normal turnaround on, and this one actually has a silver button. And the way we use those is literally straight down, and then we just kind of put them right out in front of us, about 3 to 5 feet. So about, yeah. It might fix my
Careful, man.
eyesight though.
I have a question. Can
Yeah.
you see animals?
It depends. It's just if the spirit calls for it. I mean, we've had animal spirits come through in the past on some of my other investigations outside of Charleston. But every once in a while, you get something that just wants to say, "Hey, I'm here."
Look,
Just
you said
depends.
horses and anything.
Then
I really like to go to my grandparents. Because that's the only place I've really seen anything that I would say that I've seen anything.
so the rule is nobody on the wall can be in the picture. So only me can be in the picture. And so you can take as many pictures as you want. Have to be still. In order for you to get a picture, if I move it while I'm taking a picture, it's going to be really, really blurry. You don't want it. It's not like cell phones. It's got to be still. You only got two buttons, on and off, and then the big button you can hit. You don't want to flash on there. It's not going to be getting
we'll not do that. His nickname's Bam Bam.
Again, we'll give it a few minutes, see what happens.
So this is pretty much like a iPhone, Android. It's like a phone that's got a thing to it.
One of the things, this is where I kind of like let you guys play with it anyway, so everybody gets a gist of how their gadgets work. So your spirit box, you can ask questions.
Now the barn's really red.
You want to ask, what's in the barn? What color is the barn? What color is the green truck? Ask things that you may know the answer to, or definitively know the answer.
The barn is extremely red now.
You know how people come up to you and be like, check your food?
What, buddy?
It's underneath his front two wheels.
That's probably your phone. That's probably your phone.
We're probably scaring the horses to death.
I should play my horse sounds if they start hollering.
Have one run through the wall.
Huh?
Have one run through the wall.
I was normal, haha. Wait, how's it going? Not right. Layla.
It's probably the same.
Mama. Not too people. I'm just curious.
78.0.
I'm trying to like make the barn bigger than the
Like my name comes through all the time. Then you get a hello on the top. Hello, Nick. It's broken, but it's there.
Yep.
So I use both
Look
of
at
them
that.
at the same time.
Something white flying around.
Almost slowing down. We're getting there. Slowing down. We're going to give it a few minutes. I don't want to get the stroller set.
Hey, that's crazy. Look at that. Wow.
I mean, it's probably from like the rain hitting it.
Mm-hmm. The cold around it.
Yeah.
It's just, there's nothing here in this lot that should make the EMF go on, for us to get cold spots, for us to get activity on the spirit boxes. It's just, underneath here is a sewer line. If that kind of tells you, there's no big electrical lines. The EMF, literally something has to be on top of it in order to...
Maybe you can see the laser.
That's what something would actually have to be. Like, it's got to be like right on top of it. So we're pretty close to a building that actually has wiring and all these things inside. It might actually pick up on something through the wall, especially if there's electrical lines on the opposite side. You're not doing the right thing, testing it to see where it's happening. So yeah, something would literally have to be on top of it, or just there are certain areas we're going to go to where I'm going to say, don't get excited because some of our electrical lines, the current meters, they're underneath the street. So it's going to give off enough current to make it go on. So we'll take it out.
Somebody's phone.
All right, guys, we'll kind of keep an eye on this, but let's get you guys out into the lot. It's actually basically a sprinkle now, so I mean, feel free to walk around. With your infrared, anybody with lasers, you need to keep those lasers out of those windows. You will smoke the horses. Your spirit box will hold on to the things too. So just kind of stay away from
You want to see everything?
yes, I'm going to be bouncing around. London will bounce around. Make sure everybody's kind of using their gadgets properly. George, is it?
Yeah.
the laser, whenever we're in a new area, you just kind of need to get a base temperature from all different types of objects. Just so that way we can kind of compare it
It's
to
going crazy.
Good.
It is going crazy. Now it's stop.
Now it stops.
Now it's
The
going.
spirit's not going to stay in the same spot. So if it just
It's
stops
moving.
suddenly, it says arrive. So my spirit box on my phone says the word arrive. So the fact that her EMF went off and I get the word arrive, I find that irrelevant. I usually at least want two gadgets to give me some kind of communication. That's why we bounce around with you guys quite a bit.
I got a camera.
So let's get out here in the drizzle, the wet lot, and let's see what we can explore. I'm going to grab my
I was about to ask you what you're gonna do.
I'll take it.
Alright. Okay, it's not bad.
Get that box right there. Approximately 80 degrees. If I get this rain puddle right here.
Your daddy's 91 degrees.
According to this, he was 89.
The camera on this is not up to the pixelization of a normal cell phone. So if you move too fast, you're going to see it pixelate.
Yeah, I've seen it kind of stop.
You will see it stop and calibrate, and that's okay. What we don't want are those pixelizations because something might have actually occurred during that time, and I'm going to miss it because it's in the middle of a block.
Right.
But again, nice slow sweeps, slow walks throughout the whole tour tonight.
Okay.
Horizontal, slow, and if you're lagging behind, I understand it's because you're trying to stay as slow as possible. There is an area where we're going to walk for like 3 or 4 blocks. You know, try to keep up. But I mean, by all means, you never know what you're going to catch. That's why I say try to keep it horizontal all night.
That's what I need to tell you if I catch something.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you get something, speak up, interrupt me.
Right.
Like that's exciting. Like I said, I can't tell what's going to actually happen out here.
Okay.
I'm going to forget the little one's name all night long.
Good one, Lila.
Layla?
Yeah.
She's important.
Just like
We need to focus on where she's at. So she's got a little bit of a pattern there, and I don't know where it could possibly be coming from.
The sky.
Alright, so get with George and kind of show him how to shoot and get a base reading and do a quick average. You freaked out already? You just got started?
Now you guys will do this.
Huh?
You guys have to go back and
What's your name?
Hello. What are you doing? How's the bar? I've been training at the bar in a couple
don't say are you.
You communicate with the ghost.
George came up to me and was like holding it to me. I felt like I needed to blow in it. Looks like I'm
I'm like, alright, I want you to take a deep breath in. Deep breath.
I'll be good. I'm going. No one's in the sewers.
no one's in the sewers.
That's what I'm going to say. Something you did. Like, okay.
You're scared.
Yeah, so what's your shoes on?
The ghost farted.
What's your favorite color?
It's not fart. That's all it's like. It's farted.
I think it's. Why is it playing music? I think it said. I think it said I. Why is it playing music?
Oh, you got a favorite.
It's playing music.
103.5.
Going crazy over here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's in and
sorta. I can just hold this.
What else do we have going on here? So the laser grid is perfect. So go ahead and put the other one on too. And just like you have, I know the ground is wet, so it might be glistening back at you with some of like the puddles and things like that, but you're really looking for, no, go ahead, point them out.
When I look
I'm
at
gonna
the
wave my
bar,
hand in front of it.
it
So
does it a
see
little
how it kind of
bit.
flashed back at you? That's what you're gonna be looking for. It's gonna be that quick. You can be, go ahead and look at me. You see how that light flashed? Did you see it? Even though you're looking at me? That's
It
what
keeps
we're
on
looking
going
for.
to the red.
You can hold them up a little bit higher when you
Close
have
to the
them on.
blind.
So that way you get a
Close
little bit
to-
more of a spread.
Ooh, I didn't get it.
Hunt you?
Yep, it'll actually come right through the
There's
center.
a ghost popped
And
out
we're
of the
looking for
window.
those bends of light, and who has the camera, the digital camera? So again, when she has those on, you can actually be kind of taking pictures at an angle and not getting anybody's faces,
Somebody was
and
trying
we might actually capture something in the middle that
So I
we
can like just stay close to
you could.
Is there electric under here?
Nothing. It's a sewer.
If Layla goes crazy, she can shine a light and see if she sees it.
So we can also use your device to communicate. So, and this is really simple. So what I'm gonna ask, and I'm not gonna ask the device because the spirit is around us. It's already doing what I was gonna ask. I'm gonna ask, usually when this is all the way up to red, I ask if it can step away. Prove to me that you're here by stepping away and making it go to green. And sometimes it'll do it, and sometimes it will do exactly what it just did.
The laser, what if it just turns off automatically? Is that normal, or is that something actually wrong?
Which one?
This one.
The green one you have to hold on.
Yeah. What if I am and it just?
Probably means you had it on for more than 5 minutes and it's trying to save its own batteries.
You don't have it on.
Yeah. Yeah, it will burn up. Alright, so you actually have quite a bit going on here. If you could just get us a nice 360 all the way around. And while we're in kind of a dry moment, are you guys doing anything else in this period?
Oh crap! Something here.
See why I give it to the little ones?
Yeah. Yells. Just a yell.
Did you just get a whistle out of that? Or was that somebody's phone?
Mama, is that turned down enough?
I just heard a whistle.
Me too.
Did you hear that too? Just real quick.
Yeah.
Well, he's got his phone,
Wait.
but it's turned down low.
I just heard a whistle.
There's a whistle on there.
Alright.
No one make a noise. I just saw someone.
Well, we want the spirit box. We're going to give the spirit box a few more minutes to kind of, they're really focused in on trying to find something. And then we'll actually move on to the historical spot. Again, I use this as kind of a practice area so everybody kind of gets used to what's happening and how to use their gadgets.
Wait, it won't work anymore. It has to be right on top. If it gets all the way to red, that means
If something's wrong, that's what's wrong. We want to find it.
Barn's cracked.
Let's go learn some history, guys, while we're still dry.
It's really heavy.
You gotta roll the side.
This thing is like 15 pounds.
What?
This thing is like 15 pounds. It's heavy as crap.
It's like 5, maybe.
You want to hold it?
Half the 10 minutes.
Hold it what?
Like I'm saying, it's like
Like walking 5.
what are y'all whispering about? Huh? Oh.
Picking up.
Alright guys, so welcome to the Courtney Mansion site. This is actually a huge part of Charles history. Nobody ever talks about it, so that's why I'm a hot spot. This is it. I know, it's going to. This is where Charles and Eliza Pinckney lived. The mansion was right where we were standing, and then Eliza's garden was lined up with the blue dumpster, and then they had slave homes behind the house, which is lined up with the trailer back there. It is a parking lot now, so we're going to be mindful of cars, but I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit about Charles and Eliza before I let you guys go explore. So, Charles and Eliza, well, Charles, they had a son named Charles. It gets really confusing. So Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles, they also had a nephew named Charles. The son and the nephew were signers of our Constitution, so pretty big deal for Charles, right? On the other hand, you're going to find out. So, it's not here. So, I don't like politics, so I'm going to talk about Eliza. Eliza actually married Charles so she could stay here in the States. She's from England. Her dad was sick, and he was dying, so he wanted her home. She didn't want to go, so she got married. She had to stay here. Dad got better. They made amends. Dad started sending her gifts over from England. Part of those gifts were for her garden, and one of those plants that he sent over was indigo. If you guys have been in Charleston for more than a day or two, you've probably heard the term indigo. Indigo is the plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. We still use it today. That plant started right where you're standing, well, behind where you're standing, in this lot. She also sent it over to the plantations that the Pinckneys owned and made it a big cash crop after. That was probably what I heard. Does he have like a device?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the whistle I heard.
I'm
Debunked.
turning it down.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, he can
Probably
listen to it.
us too.
So, where was I?
Indigo.
Indigo.
Planted right there.
Right.
Yeah. Sent it to.
Oh, she was also the businesswoman. So we're talking colonial times. 1760s is when this all went down. So rice plantations went downhill. We needed a new cash crop. She founded indigo, but she was the businesswoman who sold it overseas, which a businesswoman at the time was absolutely unheard of. So Eliza is a huge part of our history. Now, a couple facts about Eliza that you guys can ask on your spirit boxes. Find out what happened to the house. So your question, and that's a very simple term. You can find out how old Eliza was when she died, where she died, and what she died from.
Please use it.
It will, and that's okay. If we get a song lyric out of that, so if we get the word love, that means we were meant to hear the word love. It's okay. We'll take it. It might not mean anything, but we're going to take it and try to dive into it. So they had 4 kids. One of them did not make it past infancy, so do not ask about that child. Usually all gadgets will shut down at that point, and we won't get any activity whatsoever. She only had 1 daughter out of those 4 kids. Try to find out the daughter's name. I'm giving you lots of clues of things you can ask and look for. So as far as, like, I've been getting a lot of activity up in this corner. Actually, that was from the other night. I had a lot of activity up here. Eliza loves to chat, so listen closely to your spirit boxes, ask those relevant questions. Ask her if she brought anybody with her. Sometimes she brings a husband or one of the kids. You never know. A lot of things I will ask might come through on your spirit boxes. You might ask a question on yours, and you guys might hear the answer on yours. We never know where the answer is going to turn up. So kind of pay attention, close attention, because I ask weird questions of things that I didn't tell you about. So, lasers, we're going to try to keep below the wall because there are businesses around us. Pictures, absolutely no. There's too many cars in here. People get really weird about their pictures and cars. But the thermal imaging is okay. You're actually going to learn a lot about thermal imaging in this lot just based on the heat temperature, heat signature of cars and how they affect the ground around us. But again, we want a full, George, if you want to shoot all the different lasers around, just try to keep it below the wall. I'm getting there. Perfect, which is weird. So everybody, the light on the back of the 5 Church restaurant, sometimes it's flickering really fast, and sometimes it's going really slow like it is now. Oh, now it's going to answer the question. And sometimes it just stays on all the time. It usually is in sync with whatever is happening on the EMF meter. We've tested it with video. It's usually within 2 frames that it is within sync. Like, it's because of the energy that's here. And again, it's a little light right now, but notice it's not really in a certain rhythm. It just kind of does whatever it's going to do.
Like a light.
So,
I've seen like 4 things.
well, you got to be careful with the gravel too. Go ahead and shine the green one out for me. Leave it there. Do you see everything move?
Yeah.
You kind of have to be careful of that because
So, like,
things might shimmer back at you because we are on gravel. You're looking for something kind of big.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So that's where you two need to pay attention and try to keep the cars out of the picture.
I'm
All right.
paying attention to cars because I can take pictures.
So let's kind of explore a little bit. We're going to spend about 10 minutes in here because this place is super active. So again, a full 360 with the thermal, spirit box is up, and let's see what we can actually capture. Try to stay away from the back trailers just because there's so much of a mess back there when we get in dark. So I'm going to run my own spirit box session with mine. And what's weird is I usually ask, what color are the dots on the ground? Like I said, I ask weird questions, and it did give me the word green already. Probably because I asked that question often here, and I just got the word friends. So again, we'll kind of see how this goes. Everybody here seems pretty friendly. I've had people in this store that are not so friendly. So we'll kind of see how this goes. So please listen closely. You guys tell me what you hear. Lennon, stop. Stop. Do exactly what she says. System. All right, guys. Let's explore. All over. Actually, it's right here. Go ahead and hold it flat. Nope, flat. There you go. That's
what's red?
That's the way you need to be holding it. So, Eliza, can you tell me one of the names of one of these young ladies in front of me? Liza? Okay. I was saying Liza. And I'll usually ask the same question several times. Give them time to answer, time to muster up the energy to go ahead and give us the full answer. So Eliza, I have a whole new group here tonight. Can you give me one of the names of the people here?
Is that over there?
Correct. All right, Eliza, let's try something new. Can you tell me what happened to your house? Eliza, what happened to your home? Eliza, I need to hear what happened to your home. Help me finish the story. Tell them what happened to your house.
The white line outline with the garbage.
The trees are good. Oh, it's the lights. I'm like, why is there a big heat spot right there in the sky?
You know what? I know. Eliza, tell us what happened to your house. We've got a lot of devices here to talk to. Warm. So, somewhat of a relation.
Fire?
It's a fire. Well, actually, we've had so many fires here. The reason why I come up to this corner is because it was the upstairs in this area of the house where the fire started. And that's where the most damage
You
was.
know how it starts?
I don't. It's like 1700. My guess, probably a candle.
Yeah.
Candles burn out of we're still on fire.
Ran from my hand.
Okay, where's the green dots? She's got the head of flesh does there. Anything in there? Eliza, tell us what color the dots are on the ground. You said it once before. Let's try again. Come on, Eliza. Very what? Try again. Very simple. Eliza, tell us what color the dots are on the ground. two at once. So there's obviously the one that gives us the words, where you're hearing a little bit of static, but the other one is where the gibberish is coming. Come on, Eliza. It's okay, I'll walk around. Let's go find another hot crowd.
See that right there? Is that something?
I think it's parking moving.
Is that something?
I'll see them all the time.
Static radio. See, but now that thing's gone. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Oh, there's like abandoned church to me. Looks like there would be some paranormal activity in that thing.
Lori, that move. There's something behind you.
Oh my god.
It's getting closer.
Travel movie?
Oh, it's going crazy.
Again, you kind of see like how this dot and that dot are sparkling back at you. It's because they're near some different size stones, and it's gonna like kind of shimmer back at you. That's what we don't want. We're really kind of looking in this general area. So I know it's hard not to stare at the dots. You kind of just want to even hold it off to the side or, you know, at an angle so that way you can kind of see through it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of that. Let loose.
So what's our like face temperature read all the way around? Is it kind of matching up close to the thermal imaging?
It's around 90 degrees everywhere.
90 everywhere?
Yeah, that's what's
Is that what
been
you guys
about on
written
here.
there, too?
Yeah, it's like 89, 90.
So you can see with cars, you can probably tell which ones got here, the later ones, because they're still warm, and they're projecting heat downwards. And then obviously the parking space next to it is going to be in a colder area, so it's going to be blue.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that it's cold, it just means that it's colder than the red area.
I'm turning it off.
That camera
I'm turning it back on.
You guys see anything on your split today?
We saw someone move.
And that's what we want. Yeah, because I'm teaching everybody how to do stuff. So that's kind of what we want.
Get
We want
anything?
to-
Layla went crazy right here. And we saw something go by. I'm gonna have dreams. When it goes crazy, I tell her to press pause. I think for some reason it'll probably be like in the corner or something. Maybe hiding inside the car. No, because the lights are usually very open and close out well.
There was something there, and I couldn't catch it because it was kind of low and everybody else was talking.
Whoa.
There's something.
Sniper on you.
Layla, you want to walk over here?
Layla, your hair's kind of cold on the back.
Your hair's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady?
Did you?
Why'd you leave?
Even the Tom missing out of that would have been when you talk to Brady. Like, I get the name Brady.
There's a sniper right on Hannah.
Right there. You should never be standing by someone. She said she's very active. She likes to.
Woman,
It's right
never.
here.
You see how I'm catching those words? I know it's hard to listen to, but again, when you do this for a living, when you want to what? That's how I listen to it. I'm listening to their song lyrics. I'm listening for what word are they singing.
Right here.
And again, it's recording it all out. Even the whole podium anyway. So
There's your video right here. Here's
Maybe
Courtney.
just stay like around this trying to tell.
It's got a little haywire right here.
I love this.
Right in the server.
It's awesome. So
All I
gotta
see
get it
is
working. I'm
Daddy's
just gonna
very
turn it on,
lightly.
put it in my bag and let it run. See what comes out and I'll listen to it later. It's all helpful. Sure, how we can all those up. Yep. Again, it looks like it's slowing down. All right, so guys, we're gonna actually roll on to the next spot. Go ahead and let's get that turned down for a second. Where's the other spirit box?
right there.
I bet you have to go fast. I bet. Oh, no.
That's the bait.
You have to respond.
Which way are
All
we
right,
going?
so we're gonna walk about 3 to 4 blocks up East Bay, probably where you guys were coming from. And we're gonna go down Lodge Alley, which you guys were pretty near by Magnolias. So again, if you want to listen to your spirit boxes on the way there, by all means, takes about 3 to 5 minutes to get there based on our pace. And again, it's gonna be, what kind of, like, how does that work with some of like our cobblestone streets with the strollers?
Should be good. We can put it full of drive. Yep.
Yeah, a bit full of drum. It's
Pretty
alright.
rough.
Yeah, it would be good.
Okay. I can kind of work around it.
Nah.
But obviously keep filming. Lasers on East Bay are a big no.
Now it says green.
Oh, now it wants to give me what color dots were on the ground.
Well, she just put the laser down on the ground.
And we've gotten green twice. So that's why I asked the question again, so I can get the same response, and we did. So I will take that as validation. Somebody's here just doesn't have enough energy to keep communicating.
Yeah.
So we're going to head down to Lodge Alley. Again, spirit boxes are good, lasers are no good. Fair?
Yep.
All right, we're actually going to go through that gate. So, if you need help with the stroller, I'm glad to help. It's down a couple of steps.
Right back and forth.
We don't have enough hands.
Bye, Liza.
Is this part of the original?
Alright,
I guess
keep
it stays
going.
just-
No. All of this was put up by a restaurant called Molly Darcy's, including the wall.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was hoping it was coming in.
It was,
Will you help Teddy with the stroll?
I don't think he said bye.
It's going to go crazy because of all the parking meters we're going to pass up. So
Well,
there's going to be
and
no
this-
ghost
oh, I'm
meters
sorry.
for at least 5 minutes. I didn't. But good call. I usually do. So, good night, Eliza. I will see you tomorrow with more people.
Good night.
Good night.
You can probably stay out at night in the morning.
When I need you to keep walking straight down.
Ooh, what is that? Oh, that's good. You a believer yet?
A while back, I did look up, saw her name talking.
Really? do too.
I don't know when no one's there. It's just me in the house. I start hearing crowd.
Yeah. My head messes with me a lot
Be
like
a good
that.
time to have one of those then.
Yeah.
One of those what?
These.
Oh my god, here sounds. Let me put this 10-pound thing on it. That cop driving by is a little jealous of mine.
Be like, I'm packing too. Is there anything over there? Pretty cool looking building.
Yeah. I think it's a waste of a big building like that.
Asking the wrong person.
Looks like right? All these buildings are like out of business. Restaurant buildings.
There's so many weird smells.
I don't know what this smell is. I don't know if it's manure or like.
Yeah, that's what it kind of smells like sewage or something.
It's been an hour where we've been one place.
Just need some high cotton.
Got some low cotton? Come on now.
I can't afford the high cotton. Can I get some like, medium cotton?
You can just on the camera right
Huh? Camera's right here. Huh? Oh.
Take two so I have something to compare it to in case something pops
Is this Diagon Alley? Have I got
Might
that?
as well be.
He got it.
No, I don't.
Harry Potter.
Is there any electricity in the ground?
Put in 4-wheel drive.
Up against the wall.
Against the wall like we did at the beginning. All right.
Good.
Alright, this one was rough. This one gets pretty bumpy.
Really good.
So
Oh, that's
thank
fun.
you guys for keeping up. Let's go ahead and power those spear boxes down for a minute. So you guys are standing in Lodge Alley. Stole my soda. What a jerk she is. And your assistant. And it says shameful. Look at that, everybody. It's shameful. The chick is stealing my soda. So this is Lodge Alley, one of our oldest streets in Charleston. So I actually have the full resident list of who used to live here, dating back to 1796. So the people that used to live here were actually considered lower on the middle class, like they were on that lower end of things. They know that because they've done archaeological digs in between the bricks. So they found their silverware, little pieces of their clothing. I'll actually, if we actually capture anything in here, I'll send you the link to the actual full archaeological dig with a list of residents who prove you that we
We can
actually
like talk
heard
to
something
our
was something
friends
came up
about
on
it,
our
and
spirit
they can check out the
boxes
website and see what we have
thermal
done.
imaging camera. I do get weird shadows in here from actual digital pictures that my wife. So keep in mind too, my wife is part of this. She created the designs for Stories in the
what are
Cemetery.
you doing?
She looks at all of the pictures. She looks for any anomalies, and then she explains it. Again, she's going to give us the real deal. If it's not legitimate evidence, we pass it by and we move on to the next. So she's the person that I send stuff to that I question. But we have stuff in here we can't explain. The way the shadows fall. We actually caught a full shadow person near the end of this with the thermal imaging camera and had a verification for a digital picture. So it was kind of like a twofold. Remember I told you guys I usually use 2 devices to verify? I couldn't, there's no way. I think it happened on August 1st. So you guys can scroll down to their evidence and take a look at that. The EMF is going to go off a little bit in here just because of the restaurant. But I just kind of like to stop here for a few minutes, give everybody a breather. This is also where the Masons used to meet. So the Masons would come down here on a cooler night. Who knows if it was raining on those nights. But this is where they would be in their suits and talking business. The building behind me is actually the Lodge Alley Inn, as most hotels in Charleston actually have their own ghosts. The ones here at Lodge Alley don't actually relate to history, but they do have claims of apparitions and things moving around in their rooms. I don't have any valid evidence to prove that either way, so take that for what it's worth. But most of your hotels, if you're staying in downtown, probably have ghost stories. Just talk to your maitre d' or the person at the desk. They'll tell you. They all have their own ghosts. Anybody? Are you guys staying downtown? Nobody staying downtown? Yeah. Oh, you guys are? Okay. Which hotel? Days Inn. Is that the one by Marion Square? Is that what I'm thinking of?
It's on Maiden Street.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's by.
Yeah, you're by Marion Square, so.
We're staying at Cambria.
I don't know where that is.
It's brand new, so I doubt it has
Yeah.
ghosts.
Yeah.
It's over by like a yacht
Did,
club.
It's not been
By Porterville.
Fair enough. Alright, so we are going to walk to the end of this alley, and then
downstairs.
I'm going to need a couple more pictures going the opposite way, so when everybody leaves, I'll kind of hang out. And you're going to take 2 more pictures going
Down
the
this
opposite
way?
once we reach the end. So, leave.
Oh.
I also got the word mail backwards. If we had any post office workers, it wasn't invented yet. But at any rate, we are going to be in a neighborhood. Tour guides cannot be tour guides in neighborhoods, according to the city ordinances. So we are going to be 12 friends ghost hunting.
Okay.
We're going to be heading through one alley to get to another. So again, we're going to be in a neighborhood, so you can take as many pictures as long as nobody's in it. Okay, but I definitely want some more pictures of this place to kind of validate what's happening. And I don't think the name Liam is anybody on my roster of people.
And it's
So,
weird how to
take that
house
for what
these
it's
over
worth.
the windows.
So you can listen to spirit boxes, just trying to keep them down if you want to, but of course, please keep up the thermal imaging because I never know what I'm going to get. Kind of crazy, actually. So, London, your phone's dead, huh?
Hold on, buddy.
Oh my gosh. Just see that dude sitting back there? He stood at me. He popped up on me and I'm like, oh my god. Oh, that's creepy. Cody. Cody. You see that guy sitting back there?
No.
Well, there was a guy sitting back there and scared the shit out of me.
What is that?
He didn't say nothing. He popped up on there.
You guys see, you're all good. He's actually just walking up. Yeah, 2 again. Or more, if you want. We'll kind of move up a little bit further. Oh, come.
He's not showing up red.
No?
No.
Well, he's here just about every night.
Oh, now he is. But a minute ago he was standing over here and he was not showing up red.
Yeah, that's interesting.
No.
What's funny is he's usually
Still
the one
creeps me out.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? You can go ahead and take your picture now. His back is toward it. Nice and still.
Does it not flash, I don't guess?
I don't want it to flash.
Oh, okay.
With that,
Got
with
it.
false positives of light. Do you get 2 pictures or
right.
just 1?
2.
Okay, perfect.
I get
Oh,
2
I
of
just
everything.
turned around right in the puddle.
There's actually a person like examining. Oh, he's gone.
That guy walking wasn't showing
I
up
was
red.
wondering if when
He
you
wasn't
took
showing
the
up red.
maybe we'll
Hang on the clock over
Yeah. Oh, big old puddle.
there's something that you can like.
You want to hang out back, come back somewhere and move real quick? Like right here? Oh, no. I want to go to a graveyard. So? I still don't want to go to a graveyard.
Should probably scan that.
That was kind of weird. That dude that was walking down the alley, he wasn't showing up red.
Oh my god.
I know. Maybe he really doesn't care. Maybe he's like, oh no, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool.
I'm gonna bring you guys up this way.
Okay. You know what?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, baby.
Should I shoot him?
We do have
My laser?
this is very popular.
I gave it
area,
to
so
you.
kind of let you guys like against the wall again. In case we get another tour that comes through either way, just kind of have your masks, ready. I'll have mine hanging from my ear, and we'll mask up as they cut through. This is a very popular spot for ghost tours. However, we have gadgets that actually can prove if this place is truly haunted or not. So, guys, this is normally a big grand finale of the other ghost tour. So, we're gonna let these folks pass by.
This is wet.
Hey guys. So every other ghost tour is going to make this a big 10 to 15 minute drawn out thing. I'm going to give you the skinny on this place in about 4 minutes tops. Is there more people coming through?
Yeah, they're way down there though.
Okay, they're probably doing another tour down that way.
I was getting ready to take a picture, but
You're good.
no people.
We'll get more pictures. All right, so this is the story of the whistling doctor, Dr. Joseph Brownlet. I feel so bad. Like, you're sweating profusely, dude. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's normal.
It's
He does
normal.
that when
It
it's
is.
60 degrees.
So Dr. Joseph Brownlet
You always.
moved down here from New Jersey. He was supposed to get married to his fiancee, Amanda. She just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents, and the lawyer said no. You need to go start your practice elsewhere, and then we can talk about the marriage to Amanda. So what's he do? He comes down to Charleston, and the coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed, and dropped him off in a bad part of town. Somebody walking by named Ralph Isaacs, sorry, this is also where my glasses start to fog up. His name was Ralph Isaacs. He said, you don't want to stay here. Let me take you somewhere else. He takes him over to 59 Church Street, about 1.5 miles from here. So, the two become friends. The doctor is doing very well with his practice. He's moving up in the hierarchy. He's making money, became known as the Whistling Doctor. Pretty happy guy. So, they used to go see plays, him and Ralph together, but they had to sit in different seats, and therefore they had to talk about the plays afterwards. One night after going to see a play, they're talking about one of the new actresses that was in town. The doctor loved her, Ralph did not. Turned into an insult party on the doctor's fiance back home. They go their separate ways. Now, Ralph, being a regular Charlestonian, has access to people at the newspaper. He's telling his story down there. Oh, they're going to cut through, so we're going to let them pass by, get everybody to kind of back up that way. We're going to let them cut through and take the center, because that's normally where they go. Still got the name lead. Not getting much here.
Come on, Chris. Where's your nose?
I'll turn around because I ain't got a mask on.
Yeah, not even that.
Yeah.
That said, I actually have epilepsy, so 10 minutes is about my max.
Yeah.
So anyway, the two get mad. Ralph is writing to the paper what a disgrace the doctor is to Charleston, and therefore the doctor has to rebuttal with, we're going to settle this in Dueler's Alley, which is where you guys are standing now. So this is where the duels occurred. So the two come down here, and we got another tour coming through. Told you, a very popular spot. We like, we're just a little.
Now we can hear.
They're gonna stop right there. All right, now the loser of the duel, guys, will normally go through this gate. So the loser of the duel is dead, right? That's you fight to the death. This gate actually takes you over to St. Philip's Cemetery, where you just took a picture of the big steeple over there. There's a cemetery right next to it. Now, the doctor comes down here. They take their 20 cases. The doctor points his gun in the air and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to make a point. However, Ralph takes 2 shots below the knees on the doctor. The doctor drops to the ground. His friends pick him up and they carry him home to 59 Church Street, where I do get some activity. So he dies 10 days later. He was a doctor, could not mend himself. It is said, as you're walking through this alley, that you can hear the whistling of the doctor. So when you're listening to your audio, this is where you turn it up. You really want to listen for those distant whistles, and or you can hear any type of gunshots from the duels that occurred here. Also keep in mind, this was Dueler's Alley. Hundreds, if not thousands, of duels have occurred here, so we never know if we're going to get anything else extra. And I did get the word Charlotte and then smooth. So I don't know. I don't think that's a relation to anything at this point. But sometimes Ralph will like to come through talking about how he is. So I'll get words like honorable, I'll get doctorate, medicine, things that relate to those 2 different types of characters. Ralph's name has come through, his initials have come through. You never know what we're going to hear. Here's what I'm going to ask you guys as we're walking through this alley. Spirit boxes are off when we're walking through another tour, so we're not interrupting them. There's another piece of history in this alley at the very end. Now keep in mind it's also residential, so we're going to have to be quick. I'll point it out to the person behind me, but we're going to keep moving. The bricks are going to get older as you keep walking. The ones you're standing on were replaced in the 1990s, not so distant past, right? And the ones down there were originally sun-dried by slave children, which means they were turned every hour to be dried because they didn't have brick ovens. There are fingerprints and 1 full handprint at the end of this alley. Again, it is outside of a gentleman's home. I will point it out to the person behind me, and then we're going to all keep moving, so kind of go right down the line. But while we're walking through, let's have masks on when we're cutting through these tours. And again, spirit boxes off when we're by the tours, so that way they can tell their ones are out. I try to do it in 4 minutes, but when we're interrupted so many times. Alright, so, ready? You want to stay in the middle of the pack so you can help point out the fingerprints and handprint? Alright.
Oh gosh.
Give me that. There's the owl.
That's crazy. By slave children.
Show me slaves.
Just slave children?
And this smacked off concession from Ralph Isaac ends up going into the newspaper because he actually writes different statements that are in the newspaper. You can actually Google them today and find these excerpts from the paper from the late 1700s. And so he says, basically, the social times he was black. So much
No, that's amazing. Good day. Thanks.
That's a cool door. Hmm?
Handprints right here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a big.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Ooh, that's a big roach. Look. Who this is?
Kind of see where we're going. So, anybody hear anything while we're going through there?
So number one breakthrough.
Number one breakthrough? Is that what it says? That's a long term. Alright, so we got one more spot. The building, catty corner from us, the big giant brick building, is actually the Wagner building. That was part of our cotton industry. Was the last person that owned it as part of our cotton industry was George Brecht. So George inherited the business from his dad. He had no idea what he was doing. He was a silver spoon kid, and he got himself into a bunch of it. Now, the back of the building was obviously the warehouse for the cotton, and his offices were in the front of the building. So, we also had the boll weevil-ing tower. Yeah, it's a smooth one. The boll weevil is a bug that eats cotton. So he was really in despair of what was about to happen to his dad's business. So instead of selling it to the American government, he sells it to the British government. We are right across, about 2 blocks away from Pineapple Park, which was obviously, the water would have been much closer back then, talking 1860s, 1870s roughly. So with that being said, the British rolled their ship in, they unloaded from back here with horse and buggy from the garages out to the wharf, and he's watching everything from the second story of the building. Somebody gets too close to the cotton with a pipe, and the whole ship catches fire. Everybody dies. He's watching the whole thing. He didn't have enough money to pay back all his debt from the British. He was already depressed, and now his dad's legacy is gone. So what's he do? He piles up all the furniture and he hangs himself. So it is said, shadows of a swinging corpse can be seen on a second-story window, where I like to get some pictures from you guys. Obviously, the thermal's not going to be able to see through regular glass, because it's not meant to, but we might get some temperature differences. The temperature differences are unique with this building. Now the back, if everybody looks at the back of the building where it kind of comes to a peak, where's our infrared thermometer? The one that shoots the red laser. So George, go ahead and shoot that all the way at the very top, right up there. What's that temperature right there?
73.4.
Okay. So we're going to kind of test that against the front of the building, because in the front of the building there's like a different kind of stonework in the front, and 5 feet below that is the same type of stonework that can sometimes go to a 30-degree difference. It doesn't do it on any other building on this corner in the front of the building on East Bay Street. I had one customer actually test everything when I told him not to, because there were businesses and residences, but he did it anyway, and we couldn't find any other difference like that. So this building is very unique. They're turning it into a wedding venue in the front, and the back is condos now. So again, people live there, but it's a weird building. It used to also be a brewery where the taps would turn on by themselves, cold spots would occur where there's no air conditioning. The other unique thing is that I usually get, it depends. So about a block from where we came out of Philadelphia Alley, Dueler's Alley, is a restaurant called Coogan's Porch. If you've been here for a few days or been here before, you've probably heard of it already. Coogan is a dog. The dog will pull on kids' legs, pant legs, if you're sitting there eating lunch or breakfast. And the woman who owned it, her house, her name was Zoe St. Amant. And I found out she did not own it as a restaurant. She's actually a school teacher here in town. She put in the house down the flight of stairs, and that's how she got it. I'll often get her name. It's just spelled differently. It's Z-O-E. Yeah, it's had smooth up there for a while. Zoe, not Z-O-E-Y, it's Z-O-E. I got the word French. St. Amant has a French descent to it. And also I get the word steak. So, again, it's undeniable when I get those type of terms. So I don't know if I'm going to hear about the fire from George, storage, or if I'm going to hear about her teaching and how she got. So again, you'll hear as I'm walking across the street, I'll have my spirit box on and your audio, I'll be asking, do I have Zoe or George? If I hear an answer or get some kind of inkling that it might be somebody, one or the other, I'll start asking very specific questions. So you can listen to spirit boxes up there. Lasers are probably not a good idea except for doors. When you get to the front, we'll test that theory again, and we'll kind of see what we capture. So again, you can listen to spirit boxes on the way up. Cleveland's Porch is straight up the street this way.
Oh, okay.
So we're on, when we get to the front of the building, don't get excited. So it's all a parking meter again. I know.
What's up there? Does the lights keep on going out?
Somebody lives there. That's somebody watching TV.
Yeah.
The waterfront park is up there. It's called Pineapple Park.
Uh-huh.
Same thing as waterfront park.
Oh, okay.
You know, with all the spray grounds.
With all the what?
Spray grounds. Like, for the kids to play. You haven't heard of
Oh, like splash pad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's weird. Very popular because the waterfront park is like on the water.
Oh, okay, cool.
And the kids can play in all the fountains.
Oh, that's cool. Someone left some clothing behind.
In fact, that's where our scavenger hunt begins, is waterfront park.
Cool. Are we starting that tonight?
I don't think so.
Oh,
It's probably a little late. But we can tomorrow.
okay.
Right up there. And I get those lines the same color stone right below.
82.5.
We got about a 10-degree difference. So again, we've seen it go between 25 to 30. Haven't seen it go above 30-degree difference, but there's really no reason why that should happen. If you look at the buildings around us, I mean, this guy was shooting that laser. You gotta stop, people live here. So, but we didn't find any other kind of temperature differences. Even the buildings next to it, where people live, that was a completely different temperature between 5 to 8 degrees. So there's obviously something going on with this building, and we're working construction in here. So that's why I get the word "where" helpful. So again, we just never know what we're going to actually capture. So with the thermal imaging camera, if you can actually get just a slow sweep all the way across, so that way I can kind of take a look at the windows. I mean, the second story, if you can. Digital pictures, who's got the camera? So let's get some pictures if you can. Just and it's stand behind her, so she's going to go backwards in the street. Yep, all the windows, get as many pictures up there as you can, nice and still.
They look brighter.
And that's
You
right,
see the
I look for
second
shadows, I'm looking for... Did you guys hear anything on your spirit box on the way up? Nothing? Okay.
Does someone live there?
You know, sometimes
For
that
some
one...
reason I'm nice and still.
No, nobody lives there.
What about you, Rory? Did you hear anything on your spirit box on the way up? So we heard the word house. So I kind of, and I had the word elegant come up, so I kind of take that as Zoe. George is a bit more of a businessman. What's considered elegant? So I consider Zoe to be more elegant. But at this point, I'm going to give your spirit box another few minutes, just because it is recording, and you can get us a nice close take all the way across. Good deal. So hopefully with the collective, I heard something there.
It's not like it's behind.
Okay. So hopefully we actually captured something. Cool. think Eliza's still here, don't you?
I think
All the
she's
girls
like
think
following
Eliza's
us
still
and
hanging out. They
like
love
going
the
back
story of
to us.
Eliza.
Like follow me.
Hold on to that. Hold on to that. Please.
Because she likes to
Guys, I think you all did a great job. Thank you for hanging in there with the rain. So I know some of the gadgets with the traffic we've had tonight were a little hard to hear, but that's why we also get the recordings. So we're going to go ahead and start collecting these gadgets up. I'm going to give you guys my cards based on couples. So
Did you have fun?
and then
It wasn't scary, was it?
you heard dog. Nice.
I think it was pretty fun.
So, hopefully, I mean, my spirit box is still running. Let me give you my card there.
Give this to you.
Thank you. Okay.